Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Coding with T. Today we are going to learn how to create or design verification screens for the email. Whenever we are going to create anything which requires some success or error notification, we can use these screens on them. So we'll try to create screen in a way that it should be generic. It can be reusable throughout our project or in other projects. So first of all, let's quickly have a look what we're going to create. Okay, so our project is running. This is splash screen, then we have this onboarding screen. After that, let's go to login. Then we created create account screen. We have completed the playlist so far till here, but next when user is going to submit this form and click on this create account, this verify email address is going to be appeared because the notification email or email will be sent to user email address. And Firebase uses a technique in which when user is going to click on the link sent by the Firebase, a pop-up will be appear and user just have to reset or verify that email using that specific link. But we will keep on listening in here. When the user is going to verify his email address using the email sent by the Firebase, this screen will automatically detect authentication and redirect to the next screen, or user can manually click on this continue button to go to the next screen, which is this success screen. So we will create these two screens. In the second screen, this screen will be reusable because we will create a separate widget of the screen in which this image is replaceable, title, subtitle and continue button will also be replaceable. Okay, if you're following the playlist, you can see we are creating Flutter e-commerce application and we are inside section 2. In today's tutorial, we are going to create the second part, which is the second part of the sign up screen. And in the previous tutorials, we have already covered everything. I suggest you to watch the section 1, mandatory section 1, which is very useful if you're new. And you can also get the complete code from the description below. And also link to the playlist is in the description below or from the right top corner. So without wasting time, let's open Android Studio. In the last tutorial, we learned how to create sign up, and in here we have already covered splash, onboarding, login and sign up. So for today's tutorial, we are going to create this verify email, which I have created a new class. Inside the features, authentication, screens and in the sign up I have created verify email because it is specific to this sign up process. So that's why I have added this dot class inside the sign up folder. Okay, now inside this class, if you see the design, the first thing we need is cross sign at the top, which we are going to create it in the app bar. And after that we have one image, title, subtitle and buttons. Okay, now you can see inside the scaffold, I have created a simple empty stateless widget and name it verify email screen. And in the scaffold I have created a simple empty app bar. Then in the body we have single child scroll view, which will be usable to scroll the design whenever the device is going to be smaller. Our design should not be crashed, so that's why we are using single child scroll view. And then we have added a default padding, a equal padding, which is applied or being applied in all upcoming videos to all the screens we are going to use, which will be the default space right over here, which is 24. Okay, the first thing we are going to create is a cross button at the top. So inside this app bar we are going to create actions because actions always started from the right side. To create actions in the app bar we have an actions property and it requires a list of actions. So that's why we are using this square brackets. And as a cross button we are going to use icon button. On press will take us to the back screen. So if you're using the getX, you just have to use get.back and that's it. Let's import the get property, which is get.art. And down below you have to wrap it in a function. Then as an icon, this time we are going to use Cupertino icon. Import Cupertino library .clear, add a constant. So to move to this verify email screen, let's go to sign up form and down below for the sign up button use the get.to and make sure you should wrap it with a function. This is a single line function. And then inside this get.to again it required a function, so use it as a single line. And then we are going to call verify email screen, add constant at the start, Control Alt L to align the code. Okay, now let's save it. Click on this continue button and you can see we have a cross sign right at the top. When we are going to click on this cross, we are redirecting back to the create account screen. Let's go to verify email, and in here instead of using get.back, because we don't want to let the user to go back, instead we will use get.off all to remove all the screens and directly go to login screen again, because when the user is going to redirect or go back from the verify email, this means that we are already going to store the user data and user have to verify his email. So we definitely have to log out the user first and then redirect. So this headache is for the backend, so don't worry about it. Let's write get.off all, go to login screen, and that's it. Okay, next thing we need to create is an image. Use the image widget, and as an image we are going to use asset image. Okay, to use the image you first have to add the images. Go to assets. Inside the images I have added a folder which is animations, and I have bunch of animations which you can get or download from iconz.com. but if you want to get this whole data with all the assets, you can get it. The link is in the description. Let's close these extra files. Now to add this folder or to use this folder, we first have to declare it in the pub spec. Down below in here we have added other images. So same way we will use the assets, images and animations folder. Go to assets, images, animations, and right click, copy path reference, copy this path content from root, paste it over here and make sure to add /. Okay, once added, because we have to use these animations and widgets again and again, so instead of copying the path each time, we use the constants in the image strings. Let's add these animations here. Okay, I've added all the animations. To add the animations again, you only have to do this hectic routine once. Go to image or the path which you want to copy the path reference, use this path from content root and paste it inside over here. Now we can easily call t-images dot whatever image we want to use. Okay, let's close this. Now inside the assets we have to call t-images dot delivered email illustration. Now let's save the code. Because the pub spec is being changed, now add the get dependencies, and whenever you add new images, you make sure you have to hot restart or rerun your application. Okay, now you can see image is being appeared. Let me change this mode to the light mode. In here you can see in the app bar we also have a back arrow. So to hide that back arrow or to remove that back arrow, we will use automatically imply leading to false. Let's save it, and back arrow is gone. Now inside this image add a width property. We will use t helper functions dot screen width. Let's remove the constants from here, add other required constants, and inside the t helper functions we have already created screen width size function which is going to return a screen width, and we don't want to use the complete width, so we will only take 60% of the screen, so multiply it with the 0.6. Let's save the code, and hopefully it is already taking 60% of the screen because column is not currently taking the complete width. So don't worry, just add a space at the bottom. For the space we are using size box. Height will be space between sections 32 and space between item is 16. Now for the title and subtitle, use the text property, and inside we will use the ttext dot confirm email which we have already defined. Verify your email address, and then as a style we are going to use headline medium theme, and text align will be center. Then we have a space between items. Previously between the image we have space between sections. Now between title, subtitle and text we are going to use space between items. Let's save the code, and you can see we are moving towards the right side because currently column does not covering the full width, so that's why we can see that it's taking space slowly, but once we have everything aligned it will automatically take the full width. Or the way around is wrap the column with the size box and make it full width. It's all up to you. Now let me create another text. Okay, so in the second text I have added email directly over here, but in the future in the backend we will get the email from the sign up screen and we will use that same email over here. As a theme we are going to use the label large, and then text align again will be center. Let's save it, and you can see email is visible. Okay, I have done also with the confirm email subtitle. The text is written over here, it's a bit large text. This is the benefit of keeping everything aligned. You can see we have a clean code. So again it's going to use the label medium size, text is center. We have a space between section because text section is completed. Let's save it, and you can see when we have the complete code, everything is now aligned perfectly in the center. Next we have to create buttons. To create a full width button we are going to use size box. Width is going to be double dot infinity. As a child we are going to use the elevated button. On press is null. As a child we are going to use text. Elevated button on press is null and child is going to be text with a T continue button, and definitely when the user is going to click on this T continue, we will redirect to the success screen using the same on pressed from here. Okay, for now let's add some extra space, copy the same button, but this time instead of elevated button we will use the text button over here and change the text to resend email. Let's save the code. And you can see we have continue button and down below we have resend email button also created. Okay, now this design is completed. When user is going to click on this continue button, we will perform the next thing, which is we want to show the success screen because we are assuming user email has been verified. Okay, to create that reusable button, go to commons inside the buttons and you can see we have success screen folder. You just have to create a new folder, name it anything. Now inside I'm going to create a new class, success screen dot. If you want to create multiple success screen designs, you can name it success screen 1, 2, 3 or some specific names. Hit enter, import the library material dot, create a stateless class, success screen, replace this placeholder with a scaffold. As a body we will use single child scroll view because in smaller screens our design might not be in the center exactly. There are multiple chances that our design can easily get crashed if we are using the center alignment over here and unable to make it responsive. So it's better to add extra space at the top but use single child scroll view. We'll use a padding. As a padding this time we are going to use the spacing style we created in the previous videos. Spacing style dot padding with app bar height, and we will increase that height to 2 to add some extra space. Let's go to this class which is right over here in the styles, spacing styles, and inside we created padding with app bar height because top is taking the app bar height which I have defined over here is a 56, but rest everything is default align which is 24. Let's close it. After this padding, let's add a child because we also want to place elements from top to bottom, so we will require a column. Okay, so let's go to the verify email. Inside we're going to use the same image, same sizing, and then again same text. Let me just copy it, import required libraries. Let's remove this, add text, add sizes. So the first text is your account created title, and the second one is your account created subtitle, and then again we need one button which we are going to copy it from here. Go to success screen, inside the buttons paste it. Text will remain same. When user is going to click on this continue, we will redirect the user to the login screen. Import the get.dart and use the get.to property to go to the login screen. Import it over here. Press Ctrl Alt L to align the code. So buttons, title, subtitle and image is created. Now let's save it. We first have to call the success screen in here. Ctrl Alt L, success screen is added. Now let's save the code, click on this continue, and you can see our success screen is created. It's right over there. But to make it reusable, we quickly have to create everything at the top because we will get image, titles, description and button on pressed from the user or from where we are calling the screen. So here I created image, title and subtitle in the string, and then as a void callback we are going to use this on pressed. So instead of passing or hard coding on pressed right over here, we will replace this on pressed with the on pressed we created, and same with the image, title and subtitle. Image is passed inside over here. We will change it and pass the image we have created at the top. Let's remove this constant, replace the title and subtitle. Ctrl Alt L to align the code, and inside the constructor you can see the error. You just have to hover it, add final field formal parameters. Now you have added these all variables in the constructor as a required attribute. You can see image is required, title, subtitle and on press is required. Let's remove the not usable imports And now let's head back to verify email, and you can see when we are calling this success screen, we can easily get the error because we need to add all the required argument before we want to use this success screen. Okay, I've added all the attributes required in the success screen. On the on pressed, we will call a function which is get.to, which will take us to the success screen. But success screen also required these 4 attributes, which is image, title, subtitle, and on pressed. So we will pass the image, title, subtitle, and on pressed right over here. And according to these details, our success screen will be created. Okay, let's save the code. Hit on this continue button, and you can see we have that specific image, title, subtitle, and continue button. Continue button will take us to the login screen as defined right over here. Now we can easily use this success screen by simply calling this success screen, pass the values required, and that's it. Let's suppose if there is an error, we can pass some error related image, error related title, subtitle, and also the action if required related to the error. It's all up to you. If you don't want to pass it, go to on pressed, and in here you just have to add a question mark and remove this required from here, and it will not ask you to pass this as a mandatory, or it will not be required anymore. So that's it for today's tutorial. I hope you learned something new. If you learned something new, please like the video, and if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified for all the upcoming videos. Once again, thank you for watching, and don't forget to download the code or project code from description below. Thank you for watching. Take care. Allah Hafiz.